am presiding. I pray something is said, sung, or done here today, this afternoon, early evening, that makes you leave here better than you came. I pray you leave here devoid of demons, denounced of depression, divested of doubt, and deprived of despair. Beloved, simply divorced from anything seeking to devour you.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, God. God, you're worthy, God. God, we honor you, God. We lift you up, God. God, we bless your name in this place on today, God. We give you glory on today, God. How excellent, oh God, is your name in all the earth, oh God. God, on today, oh God. God, we thank you, oh God, for this set time and this set place, oh God. We thank you for creating a space, God, and giving it to your visionary, God, for us, oh God, to expose those things, oh God, inside of us that we keep hidden, oh God, that we don't want anybody to know, God, that is hindering us, oh God, from getting to the next level, God. God, on today, oh God, we call those things out, oh God. God, we call out depression, God. God, we call out low self-esteem, God. God, we call out self-doubt, God. God, we call out, oh God, bipolar, God. God, we call out, oh God, the rape and the molestation, God. God, we call out, oh God, the bad divorce and the bad marriage, oh God. God, we call out to God, oh God, we call out toxic people, God, and toxic environments, God. Whatever it is, oh God, we call it out, oh God, and we expose it, oh God, because you've called us to greatness, oh God. You've called us to a place, oh God, where we can be free, oh God, to be us, oh God. Free to be who you've called us to be in you, oh God. God, you said no good and perfect thing you would withhold from us, oh God. So on today, oh God, we call out, oh God, the things that so easily besets us, God. God, we call it out, oh God, because we're tired, oh God, of carrying the weight, oh God. We're tired, oh God, of feeling like, oh God, we're guilty, oh God. We're tired, oh God, of feeling like we're doing it on our own, oh God. But on today, oh God, you've created a space for us to be free, oh God. You've created a space for us to get off the weight, oh God, to take off the layers, oh God, and to pull out those things, oh God, that have been holding us back, oh God, to pull out those things, oh God, that have been weighing us down, oh God. We call it out and we expose it, oh God. The thing that has kept us awake at night, oh God, tossing and turning, oh God. Today is a day of freedom, oh God, and we tell you thank you for it, oh God. We lift up the visionary, oh God. We ask that you bless her, oh God. Thank you, oh God, for allowing us to walk out purpose with her on today, oh God. We lift up, oh God, all of the speakers on today, oh God. God, do what only you can do for them, oh God. Strengthen them now, oh God. Let something be said, oh God, to spark, oh God, a new realm of destiny, God, a new realm of freedom, oh God. On today, oh God, we call it out, oh God. Everything, oh God, even the secret things that we have hidden in our heart, oh God, that we don't want anybody to know, oh God. The residue, oh God, of the hurt, oh God. The residue of the past, oh God. The residue, oh God, of the residue, oh God. We speak our truth on today, oh God, and we tell you thank you for giving us strength, oh God, on how to survive me, oh God. We tell you thank you, oh God, for giving us the tools of survival on today, oh God. We tell you thank you, oh God, that after today, oh God, things will never be the same, oh God. We tell you thank you, oh God, that on today, oh God, we are being renewed and refreshed and revived in you, oh God. We tell you thank you, oh God, that you are Elohim, oh God. We tell you thank you, God, that you are El Shaddai, God. We tell you thank you, God, that you are El Gabor, oh God. We tell you thank you, God, that you are El Sikanu, oh God. We tell you thank you, God, that you are Elohim, oh God. We tell you thank you, God, that you are Jehovah Rapha, oh God. We tell you thank you, God, that you are Jehovah Rapha, God. We tell you thank you, God, that you are the I am that I am, oh God. God. Renew minds, oh God. Give us strength, oh God, like only you can, God. Do what it is that you need to do, oh God. God, I will be forever careful to give your name glory, honor, and praise, God. Have thine own way in the place, oh God. Do what you need to do for us. Only you can do this, God. Only you can do it, God. God, and we tell you thank you, and we clap our hands and give you praise. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Jesus. Hallelujah, God. Hallelujah, Jesus. God, you're worthy. God, you're worthy, God. You're worthy, Jesus. Hallelujah, Jesus.
people on this evening. And when you think of the thing surviving me, that's a powerful thing, man. You think about when God created you, He already knew everything that you would be. He knew everything that you would have to go through, everything that you would have to face, every obstacle that would come against you, everything the enemy would throw your way. And He knew the problems that not only the enemy would throw your way, but the things that you would do that would create problems in the future. And He knew that, and He still loved us enough to give everything up just to save us. And just so that we could be free. He thought we were worth the price of dying on the cross and giving everything up just so that we can have a better life, that we can have an opportunity to be saved. So that when we get through living in this world of hell, we didn't have to make hell our final destination. But we have somewhere to go. We have a prepared place to go. He's already created. He's already paid the price. He's already won everything. He's already won every battle. We have everything just to give God praise for. Because He's shown that He's a worthy God. And He showed us that He thought that we were worth everything that He had to give up. And that's a blessing on this evening. So just join in with us. We're going to sing a familiar song. And if you're just glad that He thought you were worth it, just begin to bless Him in this place. Hallelujah. You thought I was worth saving, so you came and changed my life. You thought I was worth keeping, so you cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for.
Because you could have been anywhere else, but you came here tonight. And I'm forever grateful. When I began to pray about surviving me, I asked the Lord, if this is something you want me to do, then you make the way. If this is what you will have me to do, then God, you send me the people. And I knew that I didn't want nobody else but River of Life praise team, because they're one of the baddest praise teams in this side of Mississippi. And I asked God to give me the speakers for this afternoon. And I know that he gave me LaTosha right off the top, because I have been watching her from a distance. We share a love of shoes. And so when I asked God to give me somebody, she was the first name. So I wrote it down in my prayer closet. And I said, well, God, who is the other person? I didn't want nobody who was going to charge an arm and a leg. I didn't want nobody who could bring in the crowds and not save nobody. I didn't want nobody just to have a name on a flyer. I wanted somebody who could get some people free, because you do know that some of us walked around dressed real cute for we're back. And I needed God to survive. He needed to survive us tonight. So he gave me Aubrey. She reached out to me on Facebook, and I told her that God had just dropped it in my spirit to reach out to her. And I've been knowing her since Magnolia First Baptist, but I've been watching all the things that she's had to survive that should have killed her. And I knew that she was the perfect person for tonight. And I know she's nervous, but we got her. We got her back. And for that, we're going to call up our trial judges, Aubrey and LaTosha. They're going to come in their own way. Aubrey is a member of the church at the Well by Reverend Kia Moore, and LaTosha is a member of Riverside, Reverend Boyce. And I see First Lady Boyce here tonight. Thank you for being here. To any other members, Pastor Jackson, and I think his dad had to slide out, but the other Pastor Jackson and any other preachers and first ladies, I honor you for being here tonight. We're not going to prolong the program. They're going to come in their own way. Aubrey and then LaTosha. Amen. Speak, girl.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's been a long time coming.
Amen.
I'm nervous, y'all.
Take your time, right? Take your time.
The disclaimer, I tend to sing when I talk, as my parents would say. When I get nervous.
You right? All right. Take your time, baby.
This may happen a few times throughout the story. Survive. Surviving me. What does it mean to survive? What is keeping you from surviving?
Okay.
Survive means to continue to live or exist, especially after coming close to dying or being destroyed, or even after being in a difficult or threatening situation. I don't know about y'all, but I've been in a few threatening situations, and I've come close to dying a few times. It wasn't until maybe 2 weeks ago that I decided how I would begin speaking today. What I would lead with to share my testimony. I had been battling with myself and with the devil, going back and forth with myself and the devil, convincing myself that I wasn't good enough to stand before you today. I was being jumped by myself and the devil. They didn't want me to be here today. Because they knew I had something on the inside of me that one of you out there needs.
Amen.
So it's been a constant fight from the time Miss Lakeisha asked me to speak leading up to today. It was hard starting out because I needed to figure out what is it that I'm surviving from. What has been holding me back? I have written this so many times, so many different ways. I have even thought about not doing it at all. So many negative thoughts in my head constantly telling me I can't do this. The folks don't care about your story or that I'll be boring y'all. Y'all probably asleep because I wrote quite a bit. But it's my story, and I just want you all to feel the severity of what I've been through. Confidence came to mind. Confidence is defined as a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's own abilities or qualities, and that is one of the things that's been holding me back, a lack of confidence. I couldn't understand why, because my parents instilled confidence in me at a young age. When I was a little girl, my mom kept me in something. Every time I turned around, I was in somebody's pageant, program, or on a show. I was the star of the family. That's my little one, y'all. Every time I turned around, I was in somebody's show and Showtime at the Apollo, and my parents was always there cheering me on, and I could always count on, you go, girl, to be shouted from my daddy. That was my assurance that I'd done the job well done, that I made it through, I survived. I often found myself going back on YouTube to look at my videos, wondering what happened. What happened to that confident, photogenic, and talented little girl? At just the young age of 13, I was diagnosed with a chronic kidney disease, FSGS, focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. Basically, some of my kidney filters are scarred and preventing them to do what they were designed to do. This is a rare disease. Rare means not occurring often, but rare is also defined as unusually good or remarkable. Remarkable is defined as worthy of attention. This definitely got my parents and my attention. But back when I was 13, I didn't hear of any kids being seriously sick or being diagnosed with a kidney disease, let alone any disease or illnesses. But here I am with this rare disease. Why? At the time it was caught early, I was prescribed some medication and I could continue to live. I was young and really didn't understand the severity of this disease, but I had an uncle, my Uncle Terry, had the same disease I was diagnosed with. I had seen my uncle go through life living, doing what he desired to do, not letting this rare disease consume him. My Uncle Terry was a smart man, a very smart man, and he had folks paying him to do their homework and that kind of smart. Not once did he ever complain, not saying that he didn't, but I never saw it. So that's what I ran with. Maybe the fact that I was a child and the fact that my parents was always there and had my back was the reason I was able to continue on without fear. I knew that I would be okay. So I got through middle school and high school. I didn't let this disease keep me down. I actually went on not even thinking about the disease because I was still healthy and doing well. I still participated in activities, captain of the cheerleading squad on the dance team, and Miss Congeniality and the Miss OHS pageant. So that confident, outgoing, photogenic, and talented little girl was still inside of me. She was still there. But somewhere along the line, I lost that confidence. I lost that photogenic smile. I went on to graduate high school, started my freshman year at U of M. I loved dancing, so that was my major. But I failed my first semester because I wanted to party and stay out late. I was so in love. I wasn't focused. Yeah. I was just happy to be at my parents' house. I could come and go as I pleased. I was headed for destruction and couldn't even see it. Yeah. But how many of y'all know when there's a purpose for your life, when God has a plan for you in your life, He will cause some things to happen in order to get your attention. Right? He loves us so much that He will stop you right in your tracks when you think you know it all. He slaps you right in your face. So this worthy of attention disease, FSGS, shows back up in my life, ready to take me out. I had to start dialysis immediately. Why, God? Why was I living this life? I was having fun. I took my medication like I should. Why are you doing this to me? For those of you who don't know what dialysis is, it does what your kidneys are supposed to do. Remove excess water and toxins from the body. There are two types that I chose to do peritoneal dialysis because it gave me more freedom. So I had the surgery to get this catheter put in my stomach. I had to hook up to a machine for 8 hours every night. I had to move back home with my parents, which meant less partying because I had rules and a curfew. I was mad. I was mad at God because I was being punished, thought I was being punished. And I didn't understand why. I was depressed, I was down, and most of the time my family didn't even know. I was numb, but I had to make a decision. Do I want to live? Do I want to survive? At the age of 18, Is this the end of my life? My story? There was so much I wanted to do before leaving this earth, so I had to make a decision. I had to hook up to a machine every night for 8 hours in order to live. I did this for 11 months, which seemed like 11 years. There was a responsibility attached to my survival, and this was just the beginning. If I wanted to come out of this, I had to do the work. If I wanted to be healed, I had to keep pushing. If I wanted to be saved, I had to keep pushing. I had to keep praying because there were many times I wanted to throw in the towel because I didn't understand why. Still at the age of 18, there weren't any people my age going through this that I knew of. I felt alone. Why did I have to be stuck to a machine every night while all my friends and associates were out partying? I got these scars, I got this tube in my stomach. What guy's going to want me? What guy's going to want to look at this? How can I hide this under my clothes, under this dress that I want to wear? Why me? While writing this, it dawned on me that this is the point in my life where I lost my confidence. I put myself in a box. I put limits on what I could do. I handicapped myself because I was too busy worried about what other people would think instead of realizing that I have this worthy of attention disease that doesn't have me. That although God allowed this, He didn't put limits on what I could do and who I was destined to be. But my lack of confidence and my lack of faith in God made me believe this was a death sentence. I just wanted my life back. I wanted to get back out on my own. I didn't want to be in my parents' house. I wanted to be fast. So I prayed and prayed, but I was praying for all the wrong things. Yeah. But God gave me what I wanted. Although He knew what the outcome would be, He knew the things I would encounter, but instead of saving me at that moment, He allowed some more stuff to happen. So I pressed through, and on December 16, 2008, my best friend Kanisha donated one of her kidneys to me. It was the best day of my life. I was so grateful for her, and still is. I was getting my life back. I could live again. Problem is, I was stuck. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I went back to the same knucklehead boys, started back hanging with the same folks, started back going down and basically started smelling myself again. Yeah. Headed down the same path I was when God slapped me in the face the first time. This time, He let me fall a few times. The guy I was dealing with had a drinking problem, and he started to become controlling and abusive. Didn't want me to have company and didn't want me to leave the house. Pulled a gun on my best friend and I because he didn't want him in the house. By the grace of God, I got out of this situation, but I was still stuck, not knowing what I wanted to do. I still kind of had love for dance, so I tried out the Memphis Dreads team a few times, but I lacked confidence because of my scars. I couldn't focus on my routine because I was too busy worried about if they could see my scars. I didn't make the team. I went to hair school because it was something my mom suggested, and I went for a while, but I didn't finish that. I'm like, okay, God, what are you doing? I got to the point of depression and stopped taking my medication. I was being smart, saying, well, God healed me, so why do I still have to take this medicine? He's God, right? He can do the impossible. And guess what? December 2013, I ended up back in the hospital. But this time it was more severe. I was septic. I was in ICU. I didn't know if I was coming or going. And I literally could have died. But God. Yeah. He slapped me, but He saved me. Yeah. God is the God of the impossible. Yeah. But faith without works is dead. God didn't just put doctors and medicine here for nothing. In some situations we need it, and just because we pray or feel like we've done everything right, or because we know God can do, or because we are good people, all that doesn't exempt us from going through trials. It doesn't exempt us from God allowing bad things to happen. Yeah. If He would heal everyone at the time that we were diagnosed with that disease, if He would just give you everything you asked Him to, there would be no reason for us to need Him. To pray to God or to cry out to Him, there is a responsibility, a fight, of stress, tears, hurt, scars, and pain connected to our survival. What are you willing to do to survive? What are you willing to go through in order to survive? Will you get in the ring like you have nothing left to lose? Will you give it your best shot when all hell is breaking loose? What will you do to survive? So there I was in the hospital, alone. The ones that used to come visit weren't coming anymore. Even my parents, they had adopted 5 kids, and although they were still supportive, they still had other children to tend to. They couldn't be there like they wanted to. So this was a time in my life where it was just me and God.
Yeah.
The first time in my life where I had a real heart-to-heart conversation with God. Because at this point in my life, I was tired. I prayed and cried. They said I was non-compliant, so I would be on dialysis at least 2 years before I would even be put back on the transplant list. So I'm back on dialysis. But this time I had to start with hemodialysis. I had to get a porta cath in my chest, a fistula placed in my arm, another catheter placed in my stomach. I was going to the dialysis center 3 days a week. I was surrounded by all these older people thinking to myself, Lord, I'm not supposed to be in here. I'm too young for this. I'm supposed to be living my life. I had met this new guy that showed me a different type of love, but I was still unhappy. I couldn't keep a job. I was getting my disability check and I was settling. I was just out there lost. I had to do something. So since I was going through all of this, I thought about nursing. But I needed something that I could finish quick and get a job. So I enrolled in Concord for medical assistant. I was a straight A student. I had finally found something that I could stick with. And just when I was almost at the finish line, I got sick again. I was determined to press through, even if it meant graduating later than everyone else. I just had to finish. And I pressed my way through and I became a certified medical assistant. For the first time in a long time, I was happy. I finally had a career. I was in a relationship with a great man who is now my husband. Life was great. I knew deep down that I still had some work to do in order to receive my healing.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to be healed. I wanted more. I wanted to be a wife. I wanted to have children. More importantly, I wanted to be all that God wanted me to be. So I had to put the work in. I couldn't go back to what I used to do. Many people think when they survive, they can just go back to their old selves, their old way of doing things. But many don't realize, what many don't realize is there's an assignment attached to surviving. And you can't just go back to who you were or what you were doing before the survival, because your assignment is connected to some broken people who need to survive you. When we survive, it's not just for the fun of it. God has a responsibility connected to our survival, or else we would have lost. You can't go back to the person you were before the sickness, before the addiction, before the divorce, before the abuse, before you lost your job. The reality is that when you survive, you're not even the same person. You're not in the same shape as the person you once were. So you can't fit back into that same space. When you survive, you just want to go back to the way things were, but for some reason God says, no, I'm not content to leave you right where your pain left you. I want to extend you and take you further. But that comes with pressure, and it comes with stress, and it comes with pain that we can't always handle. But God's grace, His amazing grace, He gives us grace because there's a call and a purpose for our lives. He allows grace to cover us until we come into knowledge of who He's called us to be and can do what He's asked us to do. So God's amazing grace saved me once again. May 14, 2015, I received my second kidney transplant. I was healed. All my praying had finally paid off. I lost the weight the doctor suggested I lose. I made sure I didn't miss a dialysis treatment. I had pain along the way. I got tired along the way. I almost threw in the towel, but what a beautiful thing it is to be able to stand and say, I fell apart and I survived. I was healthy again, but I knew I couldn't just stay there. I had to go further. I knew I had to do right. God blessed me and I had to do right by Him. So I wanted to get married. I kept telling my then boyfriend that. So I had my mind made up. But I was praying to God that He was the man for me. I was praying that He got Himself together. I didn't care about a ring or a wedding. I just wanted to do right in God's eyes. I stopped pressuring Him and just started pressuring God. It happened. He proposed to me on August 15, 2015. We planned to get married the following year on my 1-year kidney anniversary, but I couldn't wait. We still staying together, shacking up. We need to get married now. On October 10, 2015, we did it. This man, Marquez Sean Hunter, stuck by my side through sickness and health before even making the vow to me. He was the one I called late one night after almost being choked to death and a gun pulled on me because he was my friend first. And he'll never let me forget I messed up his new white t-shirt with my snotty nose and teeth. I thank God each and every day for him because he was the second man to love me unconditionally. My dad was the first. He's not perfect, but he made and still makes everything better. So I know y'all thinking it's the end, right? She went through all that. There's no way there's more. There it is. So we're married now. We had a ceremony on my 1-year kidney anniversary. It was the best, thanks to my parents. What they say, first comes love, then comes marriage, then a baby, right?
Come on.
No. My transplant doctor wanted me to wait a year before conceiving, and we did. We finally got the okay to start trying, and honestly, we hadn't been doing anything to prevent it, but I just figured that I wasn't getting pregnant because we weren't married. I figured we needed to do things the right way, the way I wanted to do it, the way I always wanted to do it, the way I dreamed it would happen. So all these months passed by, and I'm not pregnant. So I researched the medication that I'm taking, find out that one causes a birth defect and infertility. I talked to my kidney doctor here in Memphis, and he kind of blows me out saying I shouldn't switch. So I didn't want to hear that, so I found another doctor. Had an appointment, and she's all for it. She even goes to tell me that I would be pregnant in August and have a baby in the spring. I brush it off. I'm like, okay, girl, let's do it. This was January 2017. I changed meds, and they wanted us to wait 6 weeks to check the kidneys to make sure everything was going good, adjusting to the meds. So I'm like, okay, it's going to happen. Nope, still not pregnant. I was having a regular cycle, so I went to 2 different doctors. One put me on a fertility drug that didn't work. The other put me on a drug to regulate my cycles, which ended up being a birth control. That didn't work. So in the midst of all this, I was becoming impatient, thinking I couldn't get pregnant. So I talked to my husband. To getting into foster care. We went to the classes. We had to have a room ready to get our home approved. So my mom came and decorated our second bedroom. She made it into a nursery. I used that second room as my prayer closet. I brought prayers home from work and placed them in the crib. I printed fertility prayers off and posted them in the closet. I started buying little baby clothes and putting them in the room, and I would go in there and pray. Our home was approved, and they called us for a sibling group. We didn't want 2 kids, just one. After the second time they called, my husband just said he didn't want to do this anymore. If it was meant for us to have a baby, God would bless us with our own. So we closed our home, and I started to pray more. I started begging God, stressing myself out because I wanted this so bad. I wanted to give my husband a child. I was feeling less of a woman. I couldn't do the one thing I was put on this earth to do, be fruitful and multiply. Why is this happening to me again? We got married. What else do we have to do? My last resort was going to a fertility specialist. Took out a loan for my first appointment, did tests on both of us. Of course, he's fine. It was me. I had the eggs, but one of my tubes wasn't open. Me and y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But one of my tubes wasn't open to release the eggs. As the result of meeting, I was told that they couldn't help us unless we did IVF, which is very expensive. It's when they will retrieve some of my eggs, and fertilize them, and then place them back inside me. Too much money that we didn't have, and they couldn't allow me to bring a baby into this world, knowing that my baby could have the same disease I had. Well, that grind mine and my mother's gears. I just cried, and she went off. Because how do you even know that my child will have the same disease? You don't know the plans God has for my life, my child's life. I was devastated, and I was done. I was tired. That was July 10th, 2017. Luke 18, 1-8 is the story of the widow and the judge. This story demonstrates the importance of persistence in prayer, never giving up. Some of you need to get like the widow and get on God's nerves. Be persistent in asking Him for what you desire. I was persistent. I stopped begging God for what I wanted and started asking Him to let His will be done in my life. Lord, if it's your will for me to conceive, to be fruitful and multiply, then do it, God. And if it's not, help me to be okay with it. I was persistent in asking God for His will to be done in my husband and our life. Folks thought I was crazy for having a nursery, for buying baby clothes, but miracles take crazy faith. That crazy faith gave me a positive Christmas success. That crazy faith gave my husband and I Marquez and Sean Hunter Jr. My Pootie, my miracle baby boy. Now I'm standing here before you sharing my many testimonies. I stand before you today to tell you that this journey hasn't been easy for me. I stand before you this evening surviving the very thing and person that has been holding me back. Me. What if the pieces of yourself that you present are the parts that God wants to use? God will put you where He wants you, even if no one thinks you deserve the position. I didn't think I deserved to be up here today. But we're here to divorce some things tonight, right? So I'm divorcing me. I'm divorcing every negative part of me that makes me believe I'm not enough. I'm divorcing doubt, depression, anxiety, guilt, and fear. And I'm tapping into the woman God has given. The wife, the mother, daughter, and friend I know I'm capable of being. I don't want you to forget who you were. I don't want you to hide where you've been. I don't want you to live a life of pretend. I want you to be brave enough to grab every part of your shattered life. Dare to grab the disappointments and the pain. Challenge yourself to stare down the vicious memories, even if you have to do it with tears down your face. Because when it's all said and done, God's glory isn't here to stroke your ego. It's here to develop your weakness into His perfect strength. Everyone wants to be glorified, but no one wants to get on the cross. This life shines with your brokenness. I dare you to be free. Refuse to lose. Survive.